Number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
Club Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set.
You think he's a zest monster?
I definitely think he's bisexual.
Why do you think that? Just because his pants fit weird or whatever? That one meme?
His mannerisms. And I think he's bisexual.
With a black girl, he probably would have paid child support. There's a lot of things that it would have been easier. I'm just gonna say it.
DL Hughley just pulled up and dropped a bombshell. He's calling out Shannon Sharpe for getting caught up in some deep industry drama. Word is, Shannon's in serious trouble after allegedly selling out to some powerful gatekeepers. And now it's all crashing down on him. People in the streets are saying he made some kind of secret deal to boost his career, but it came with a heavy price. There's no free lunch in Hollywood, right? And now that the gatekeepers are circling back, Shannon reportedly couldn't deliver what he promised. That's when things got messy. And here's the wild part. This might just be the tip of the iceberg. Insiders are whispering about a group of women lining up with lawsuits, and the claims they're making are next level. These aren't just minor accusations. They could seriously shake things up if they come out. So now the big question is, what exactly does DL Hughley know about what's really going down behind the scenes? And is it true that Shannon's being blackmailed by people who once had his back? Let's break it all down.
I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so.
DL Hughley's been sounding the alarm on Shannon Sharpe for a minute now, accusing him of selling out and rolling with some real shady folks. But Shannon, he brushed it off and kept it moving until things started getting ugly. As soon as the lawsuits hit the internet and the mess started going viral, DL came swinging. He wasted no time dragging Shannon all over Twitter, even throwing shade like, Shannon better be glad Shannon ain't interviewing Shannon on Club Shay. Fans were split. Some thought DL was going too hard, especially while Shannon's in the middle of all this legal drama.
Initially, I was going to do it, and it kept my schedule. It just didn't work out, but I'm glad I didn't. I thought it got to be too messy, and I said it out loud. I think for a while, Club Shay was like Wendy Williams with a weight set. Like, damn, this dude. I mean, it was messy. The reason that those people went on Club Shay in its first iteration before it became successful is because we saw what he did, and the reason I was going to go on is because we saw what Skip did to him. I said any number of things about the way Skip sunned him.
Is that when he said, put your glasses back on or something like that?
That was so horrible to me.
But here's the thing. DL's been locked in on Shannon for years. This ain't new for him. He's been calling out Shannon for turning Club Shay into a circus where other black men get ripped apart just for views.
That I think a lot of people were determined to help this black man be successful because of what had happened. Mm-hmm. And to kind of curate all that, have that place that they worked so hard for you to have, so you would have your own space, be just an amalgamation and curate all the bull that is happening in our community seemed insulting.
Right. And we're talking about, man, some of the same people that rallied around him to make sure
all
he was good.
DL even clowned Shannon, calling him Wendy Williams with a weight set, claiming that Shannon cares more about viral moments than the actual truth. DL didn't hold back in that Vlad TV interview either. He made it clear he would never step foot on Shannon's show. He said the drama, gossip, and beefs Shannon lets his guests stir up are way too messy, and he's not with it. DL thinks Shannon's been using his platform to tear down people for entertainment, and now it looks like that same platform might be turning on him. DL Hughley was clearly throwing shots at that Club Shay interview with Katt Williams, the one that's exploded past 90 million views and is now one of the most watched podcast interviews ever on YouTube. Katt didn't come to play. He lit up almost every big-name comedian in the game, from Steve Harvey to Cedric the Entertainer and even Kevin Hart. Katt was on full blast mode, and while he didn't diss DL Hughley directly, that didn't stop DL from going after both Katt and Shannon for even doing that kind of interview. What's wild is, during the interview, Katt actually tried to warn Shannon about keeping the wrong people in his circle. People thought Katt was being funny when he said Shannon had a strange loyalty to losers, but he was dead serious. A lot of folks missed the deeper message Katt was putting out there. He was dropping hints about Shannon's secret ties to some high-powered industry players, the kind of people who pull strings behind the scenes. According to Katt, Shannon might have traded something real to get that spotlight. Throughout the whole interview, Katt kept circling back to one idea. It's dangerous to sell your soul to the devil by the devil. He was talking about the gatekeepers, the big bosses in the industry who decide who rises and who gets cut off. Katt even pointed the finger at Kevin Hart, saying Kevin's success wasn't by chance, and that the deals were already lined up before he ever blew up. People are now revisiting that interview and pointing out how Katt seemed to know way too much about Shannon's private life. He even hinted that Shannon had some unusual tastes and warned him about getting caught up with white women.
I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan.
Come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
Looking back, it almost feels like Katt saw the storm coming before anyone else did. Now, if Shannon had actually listened to those warnings, he might not be in this mess today. As of now, he's knee-deep in a $50 million lawsuit filed by a woman named Gabriela Zuniga, also known as Gabby, and it's ugly. In the legal docs, Gabby accuses Shannon of being controlling, manipulative, and even violent. She claims things escalated after his Instagram Live drama last year. When she tried to walk away, Shannon allegedly showed up at her place and forced himself on her. Then in January, she says he did it again, this time after convincing her to let him over. According to the lawsuit, he refused to wear protection and crossed serious boundaries, even after she told him no. What's got folks extra disturbed about this whole case? The fact that Gabby was just 19 when she started dating Shannon, while he was in his mid-50s. That major age gap alone raised eyebrows, but the situation gets even more uncomfortable from there. Word is, their relationship involves some wild behavior, including race play and BDSM. And here's where things took a turn. Shannon's own lawyer allegedly leaked explicit text messages between him and Gabby, and they paint a jaw-dropping picture. In one message, Gabby reportedly told Shannon, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." In another, she said, "I know you missed this big juicy behind $25,000 for each cheek only."
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
The content in those messages is graphic, wild, and now part of public court drama, adding another layer of shock to an already explosive lawsuit. Shannon's not backing down. He's standing 10 toes down on his innocence and says he's ready to battle these claims head-on in court. He's banking on the legal process to clear his name and says the truth will come out once all the facts hit the table. He clapped back at the lawsuit, calling it nothing more than a straight-up shakedown. According to Shannon, Gabby and her lawyer, Tony Busby, are just chasing a big payday, and he's not letting them run off with his bag without a fight. If I were Shannon Sharpe right now, I'd be looking over my shoulder asking, who can I even trust? Who's really in my corner? And who's just waiting to flip on me? Because it's looking like folks are pulling out receipts, fake friends, and wild claims from every direction, all trying to take this man down. It's that classic when it rains, it pours situation. Just a minute ago, Shannon was riding high, everybody calling him Unc, showing love. Now, it's like the floodgates opened, and suddenly people got nothing but dirt to throw on his name. Shannon Sharpe isn't married. And that little detail became a major talking point when comedian Corey Holcomb brought him up on his show. Now, Corey's known for being raw and unfiltered, but he took things way further a few months later when he popped up on Cam Newton's podcast and dropped some wild claims. Corey claimed Shannon was mad at him because he's been saying for a while that Shannon is an undercover homosexual man.
Let's just cut the book. When Shannon got out that motherfucking SUV in them stretch pants, he got, you go get some wine. Hey, stop. We saw all we need to see.
That statement stirred the pot big time, especially since Shannon's always kept his personal life real private. Then boom! Just a few months later, everything went off the rails. On April 20th, a woman came forward accusing Shannon of assault, and just 4 days after that, on April 24th, Shannon made headlines again when he announced he'd be stepping away from ESPN for now, with plans to return this summer.
Mr. Shannon Sharpe, who announced yesterday that he would be stepping away from ESPN and ESPN's First Take, my daytime job, at least until the NFL preseason sometime later on this summer.
But let's be real, people aren't buying it. A lot of fans are already saying that comeback might not happen at all. The timing is just too suspicious, and folks are starting to wonder if there's even more going on behind the scenes. And just when things couldn't get messier, here comes more drama. Wack 100 and Tasha K are now jumping into the mix. And if you know Tasha K, then you already know people got all kinds of opinions about her. Wack 100 pulled up to the No Jumper podcast and stirred the pot again, this time claiming he's got reason to believe Shannon Sharpe is bisexual.
I believe right now Shannon should I gave this advice to Puffy, he didn't take it. Shannon should just step out with his boyfriend and let people know I'm bisexual, but this is who I'm with. And every now and then I experience my wild side.
You think he's a zest monster?
I definitely think he's bisexual.
Why do you think that? Just because his pants fit weird or whatever? That one meme?
His mannerisms. And I think he's bisexual.
Not only that, but Wack says he's got video proof to back it up. Or at least that's how he made it sound. Then he dropped audio of Shannon saying something during his own show that had the internet spinning. According to Wack and Tasha K, it sounded like Shannon let something slip, a real Freudian slip moment that supposedly revealed who he's really into. Shannon Sharpe's legal drama isn't just wrecking his image, it's messing with his money too. Behind the scenes, several major sponsors are reportedly backing all the way off. Brands that once lined up to be attached to Club Shay are now hitting pause or cutting ties completely. When the scandals hit this hard, sponsors don't wait for a verdict. They run for cover. And Shannon's seeing firsthand what happens when the brand becomes too hot to handle. These brands don't want to get caught in the storm. They're protecting their image, and that means leaving Shannon in the dust until the smoke clears.
So DraftKings is on that other side of the fence now, right? Let me also go into, and this is what I actually was initially watching. If you look at Chad Ochocinco's background, he now has the Boost Mobile logo covered up with the jersey.
Public opinion is shifting, and companies don't like controversy unless they can profit from it. And this time, the risk is way too high. Mace didn't hold back on his podcast when he weighed in on Shannon Sharpe's situation. And let's just say, he came with a real opinion. According to Mace, this entire mess could have been avoided if Shannon had kept it real and stayed with a woman from the hood.
With a black girl, he probably would have paid child support. There's a lot of things that it would have been easier. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not for this, but it would have been easier with a black girl if let's say she was from the projects. Her name was LaTanya. He wouldn't have been paying what he's paying. I just know that much.
Shannon lost touch with real ones. Mace said if Shannon had been dealing with a woman who grew up rough, like someone from the projects, he wouldn't be in this kind of trouble. Mace argued that women from the trenches know how to move. They don't play victim and flip the script when things go sideways. They know how to handle heat without going full courtroom. Mace's message was loud and clear. This ain't about love, it's about choices. And Shannon chose wrong. Now, Mace could have just been messing around. But it's pretty interesting that he said that. Even Stephen A. Smith, who had no problem publicly backing Jay-Z when he got hit with that lawsuit alongside Diddy, is now looking like he's slowly backing away from Shannon too.
That being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say.
If you're paying attention, the writing's already on the wall. Either the case against Shannon is stacked with heavy receipts, or there's some real puppet master activity going on behind the scenes, trying to make sure he loses everything. So what do you think? Is Shannon being set up by powerful people trying to silence him, or is this just a storm he brought on himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and tap that bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.